What if I told you that Nintendo's jump from outsider to market leader wasn't due to some stroke of genius or luck, but was due to a simple design skill that you could improve with just weeks of practice? What if I told you this very skill was the one thing holding many designers back from the big leagues? It's called design empathy. In this video, we'll talk about what it is, how it's helped underdogs become top market leaders, and how, with just 20 minutes a day for 3 weeks, you can improve it in your practice. Design empathy, the key to elevating your design from good to extraordinary. Everyone has heard of data-driven decisions, or decisions based on real data. But design-driven ones are more confusing, and they rely on design empathy. This means going beyond measurable aspects to focus on users' psychological and emotional needs. It means transforming your work to be not just visually appealing, but to deeply move your user. There are clear examples of the importance of design empathy in coming up with innovative solutions. Take, for example, Henry Ford's quote about making faster horses versus cars. Now, yes, there's no proof Ford actually said this, but this quote does illustrate the difference between data-driven, focused on user feedback, and design-driven, understanding the true need for creative solutions that users have. Another example is the first iPhone. Its user interaction was radically different from its predecessors and set the standard for years to come. Now, this wasn't just some small incremental change based on user data. This was a fundamental reimagining based on understanding of humans' emotions and reactions. On the other hand, we have Amazon with their data-driven approach. We see this in their approach to Prime subscriptions, which they push and make easy to obtain, but cancelable only through contacting support. Let's focus on another unique case, the Nintendo Wii. By 2005, it seemed as though Nintendo's reign was coming to an end in the console market. The GameCube had sold far fewer units than the Xbox and was way behind the PlayStation 2. PlayStation and Microsoft's next-gen consoles were far more powerful and feature-rich. How could Nintendo compete? Let's actually not just look at the example, but try to learn from it and start thinking and acting in the same way.
Unlock the secrets of AI design with our exclusive Mid-Journey Mastery course, your gateway to creating stunning AI art that captivates and sells. Dive into advanced techniques and sidestep common pitfalls with ease. For a limited time, we're slashing the price from $49 to just $19 for the first 100 quick-acting designers. Don't miss out. Transform your art and seize this unbeatable offer now. Click a link in the description.
The Wii sold over 100 million units, becoming the best-selling console of its generation, despite its modest capabilities. This was directly due to design empathy and a design-driven approach. The industry was focusing on more complex and powerful games, but Nintendo took a different approach. In 2004, gaming had already become more accessible, and the market was ready for a new audience. PlayStation and Xbox both focused on existing gamers, but Nintendo wanted to focus on attracting those who had never played before. They wanted a fun and easy gaming experience, one that required no special knowledge or skills. Nintendo's motion control technology made gaming more accessible and enjoyable for a wider audience. Reminds you of something, doesn't it?
Bring them closer together or move them further apart to make it bigger or smaller. And so I can just move them further apart and stretch the image. That cool?
The Wii's positioning as a family console was highly successful, attracting millions of new players and influencing the entire gaming industry as a whole. The numbers and data-driven approach showed that we needed more power and more capabilities to run increasingly complex games, as this had been the case for previous generations. Increasing power and spending on marketing is also data-driven, because it was building off a previously drawn conclusion. But the design-driven approach is to understand that there's actually an audience that wants to play, for whom PlayStation and Xbox is not suitable. So how do you break through and make groundbreaking work? The answer is deep psychological immersion. Go beyond user personas and user flows. Dive into behavioral psychology and emotion. Understand not just what users do, but why they do it. Study cultural and social influences on design perception. Like any skill, this requires practice. That's why I'm here to show you an exercise that has been proven to enhance the skill of empathetic immersion. The empathy mapping exercise, used in humanitarian professions at Stanford School, has been adapted for the design profession. We've also added methods used by Hollywood actors to help deepen the immersion. Every day, when you're looking at works on Dribbble, Behance, Awards, or on any of your favorite design studio's website, choose one and do the following. 1. Describe the user portrait. Age, income, gender, profession, family status, anything like this. 2. Dive into deeper empathy levels with headings like think and see, feel, hear, say and do. 3. Then think about what we've learned from these actors, which really takes this to the next level. In the first person, contemplate thoughts and behaviors, trying to understand underlying reasons. What is going on? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What is impacting my behavior? Think about what's inside their head, trying to understand their decisions and the motivations behind them. It's this part of the exercise that lets us understand the deep desires of our users. And in the understanding of these deep desires, we can figure out that he doesn't want a fast horse or a car. He wants a device that gets him from point A to point B, because at point B, there's a warm cake waiting for him. So instead of a car or a horse, we give them a device for making cakes in the comfort of their own home. And then we're already miles ahead of the next competitor. For example, a reflection might explore why a user is attracted to bold designs, linking it to their life story and aspirations. In this way, maybe it's not so much about the style as it is about reaffirming a user's life story and dreams. It should take about 10 to 30 minutes to do this. And if you do it every day, you should notice in as little as 3 or 4 weeks how much deeper you get into your user's thoughts automatically whenever you embark on a new design process. We've prepared a template for you at Notion, and there's a textual example of this deep dive into design empathy in the description of this video. Now, this isn't the other side of the coin, but rather the opposite extreme, as all the examples we've looked at today have actually been combinations of data-driven and design-driven approaches. In fact, a purely design-driven approach would lack any grounding in reality whatsoever, whereas an approach fully reliant on data would lead to a lack of creativity, what I call design without soul, and is unlikely to be massively, fundamentally successful or revolutionary. To understand why empathy in design is so important, you must understand what the consequences are of a lack of empathy in design. And for this, I highly recommend watching our video about deceptive design and why such designers' era is coming to a close.